everyone. Welcome to Shell Point today for the weekend of January 29th, 30th, and 31st. I'm Adam Brown. On today's show, we will learn about Friendship Sunday that's coming next month from the Legacy Foundation. And we'll revisit the top stories from earlier this week. But first, we want to remind you again of the Zentangle workshop on Saturday. What exactly is Zentangle? Well, it's an easy-to-learn, relaxing, and fun way to create beautiful images by drawing structured patterns. Come have fun learning and creating at 2 p.m. in the Social Center. The cost of the workshop is $20, which includes supplies. For more information or to sign up, call 415-0212. Looking ahead to Monday, there will be another exciting concert as part of the Fine and Performing Arts series. The Duke Ellington Orchestra takes the stage at the Village Church at 7:30 p.m. While Ellington himself can't be with us, the influence of this prolific American composer will be. Ellington was one of the most influential figures in jazz music and gave American music its own sound. The Duke's son, Mercer, took leadership of the band, and after his death in 1996, Mercer's youngest son, Paul Mercer Ellington, took up the baton to lead the orchestra, and they're coming right here. Don't miss this wonderful evening of music on Monday the 1st. Another date you don't want to miss out on is Friendship Day that's coming in just a few weeks. This is a free, fun opportunity to celebrate what's happening lately down at the amphitheater on the island. For that story, let's take you there now, where Jeff Cory and Melody Desilets of the Legacy Foundation are just finishing up a hard day's work of construction.
Hi, I'm Jeff Cory from the Legacy Foundation, and we're here at the newly refurbished amphitheater at Shell Point. And as you see, lots of great construction happening. Melody, tell us why you're sitting in a bobcat.
Well, you never know where your job may take you, and I am so excited to be a part of this journey of the newly revamped amphitheater, and we're in the process now, and we are going to celebrate it with you all. You all are invited to Friendship Day happening right here in the amphitheater on February 14th, which men should know this. It's also Valentine's Day, right?
A day I never forget.
Very good. Well, the day starts out early with a church service. We're having a worship service in the Village Church at 10:15 to celebrate what else but friendship. Then the day takes you to 3:30 right up there in the administration courtyard, where we're going to have refreshments for you, followed by a concert with the Mountain Faith Band. And also, Jeff, tell us a little bit about a surprise dedication.
Melody, I can't give you too many details, but it's certainly a day that Shell Point residents won't want to miss. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have hot dogs, ice cream, the Mountain Faith Band with some bluegrass music. It's going to be certainly a day to remember here at Shell Point. And friendship is so important to all of our residents. It's really a part of Shell Point, our family, and it's going to be a great time.
Absolutely. So you will receive this beautiful invitation in your mailbox coming up soon. If you turn it over, it chronicles all the details of the day's events. Tickets for your food are available on February 1st, so you don't want to miss that. You want to sign up through either service desk. We are so excited to bring this event to you, and we hope to see you all out here on Sunday, February 14th for a great time. Be sure to sign up and join us for what Shell Point is known for, friendship.
And now let's take a look at today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hi everybody, welcome to the weekend edition of the Happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley and this is Caitlin Van Scoy, and we're going to go over the activities we offer Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to start out Friday morning with 8 o'clock men's match play tennis down at the Woodlands tennis courts. The stamp ministry will be in the stamp room at 8:15. From 8:30 until actually 11:30, the Friday marketplace will be going on in the administration courtyard, so do get down there and check that out. At 9 o'clock, we'll have canasta and samba. That's in the second floor of the Woodlands. And at 10 o'clock, we have men's match play tennis down at the Woodlands tennis courts. Inquiring minds will be in the Manatee room at 10:15. Moving into the afternoon lineup, we have a 12:30 mixed progressive bridge game at the game room of the Woodlands. We have a Health Connections class at 12:45, Zumba Fitness. That's in the Health Club, and that's currently full. At 1:15, we have an advanced table tennis. That's in the Tarpon room, which is in the tunnel. The Quilters will be in the Osprey room at 1:15. And from 1:30 to 3:30, you'll find the model train room down in the tunnel open for tours. Now at 2 o'clock, Bid Euchre will be in the Sable room of the Woodlands. And the water volleyball will be going on at the LifeQuest Aquatic Center at 2:15. At 2:30, we have a free MAC walk-in clinic. That's through the Technology and Teaching Center on the island. At 2:45, we have the first seating for the 2016 Shell Point Gala. That'll be at the Village Church. RSVP is required. At 3 o'clock, the ballroom line dancing will be in the Health Club. We're going to move to 6:45 for game night. That's at the Resident Activity Center. It's always fun. Head on down. And at 6:45, we have the 2016 Shell Point Gala at the Village Church, second seating. RSVP is required. Now here's Caitlin to go over Saturday's lineup.
Thank you, Bev. Saturday morning starts out with a pickleball game at 8 o'clock at the game courts. Also at 8 o'clock, the round robin doubles tennis will be at the Woodlands tennis courts. Following that, we have men's and women's doubles tennis at 9:30 at the Woodlands. And then we move to 9:45 for duplicate bridge. That'll be played in the Manatee room. At 10:15, the Model Yacht Sailing Club will be at the Garden Apartment Pond sailing their boats. We move to the afternoon for chess at 1 o'clock in the Library Lounge at the Resident Activity Center. At 1:15, we have table tennis in the Tarpon room. And at 3 o'clock, the Shell Point Art Studio presents Zentangle Workshop that's in the Social Center on the island. Our last Saturday activity is basic line dancing in the Health Club at 3:15. Here's Bev to tell you all about our Sunday.
Well, thank you, Caitlin. At 9 o'clock, we have Christian Life Studies in the game room of the Woodlands and also at the Village Church. And our morning worship service at the Village Church is at 10:15. It's also broadcast live on Shell Point TV Channel 13. At 3:30, we have the Sunday Golf Mixer down at the Shell Point Golf Club. And Latin Size will be in the Health Club at 4:15. At 6:15, we have our last activity, and that is our evening service at the Village Church. Well, we hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you back here next week.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Friday and the weekend. On Friday at 10:15, our iPad, iPhone free walk-in clinic takes place in the Technology Teaching Center on the island. Bring your questions and knowledgeable resident volunteers will help you. I'd like to tell you about some new classes coming next week. On Monday, we have an Apple iPad apps class with Penny Modridge of Nautilus. We also have a basic iPad class with Bob Jakubiak of Lucina and Personal Peace with Sandy Ehlers of Eagles Preserve and Rosemary Giovannoni of Parkwood. On Tuesday, we have printing from your Apple iPad tablet. That's with Penny Modridge of Nautilus. And on Friday, a salute to Shakespeare 2016. This time, Ray Boyce is going to share the histories. And then on Saturday, we have something new and fun coming up. It's lunch and a trivia quiz with Professor Adrian Kerr. Sign up at either service desk.
Menus for your weekend. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is a petite sirloin steak served with a baked potato and broccoli. The dinner special is the seafood buffet for $17.95. The soup of the day is Manhattan clam chowder. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a barbecue pork sandwich with coleslaw for $7.75. The dinner special is Chef's Choice for $8.75. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Friday are grilled tuna steak for $18.95 or sirloin steak with leeks and blue cheese for $16.95. On Saturday, the Crystal Room is closed. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Saturday, the special is a chili cheese dog with fries for $7.75. The dinner special is eggplant parmesan with garlic bread and mixed vegetables for $8.75. On Saturday in the Palm Grill, you can have prime rib for $20.95. On Sunday, the Crystal Room features its Sunday brunch for $17.50. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Sunday, the special is a Philly cheesesteak with onion rings for $7.75 or Chef's Choice for $8.75 for dinner. And the Palm Grill is closed on Sundays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here with Dr. David Nesselroade. Most of you know Dr. Nesselroade from his work at the Pavilion. But Dave, you and I have gone back a long time, haven't we? We've been friends for a long time. When did that first happen?
I think when you moved to Morgantown around 1981, I was already there and became your family physician, as well as storing some of your furniture for a while you were building your home and so on.
Yeah, we were very much closely connected very, very quickly, and we've always enjoyed our friendship. And of course, you moved down here in 1986 or so, and but we've kept in touch. And what a pleasure it was to be able to come to Shell Point, to the Village Church, and know that we had friends here. But we're actually here to talk about the weekend services coming up, and this Sunday morning is I think it's an important Sunday morning, at least for me, because we're getting ready to introduce the mission statement that the elders of the Village Church have approved. It's something that's come through a process that has involved strategic planning and my own thinking, that kind of thing, and you've become aware of that as well. And so what do you think about mission statements and stuff like that?
Well, I think if you don't have a mission statement, you don't know where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going, you don't know how you're going to get there.
That's right.
And so I think it's vitally important. I think it's been important to Shell Point when we worked through our mission statement, our core values, and so on. It really gave us a focus.
That's right. Well, we hope that's the case certainly with the Village Church. I've been here just about 3 years, and I think it's really taken me that time as well as the planning process to really get a sense of direction. You always have that kind of thing when a new senior pastor comes to a church. And so on Sunday morning at 10:15, my message will be entitled The Mission. And I'll sort of lay it out, and then in subsequent weeks we'll sort of unpack it. And then we also have a wonderful opportunity as well this coming Sunday in the evening to hear from one of our colleagues in ministry who's from another church. His name is Don Pullen. And the reason he's here is because as part of that whole strategic planning process, we've been searching for an associate pastor that deals mostly with the issue of building community in the local body of Christ. And you were on that search committee and have had an opportunity to interview with Don, know a little bit about his background. Tell us a little bit about our friend and colleague.
I think what's interesting to me is that I was on 2 subcommittees. And on the first one, we had, I think, over 40 candidates. And it was really a culling process, bringing it down to such a number. And the Lord really brought us together on it. This one has been different. We had a candidate who just stood out to us. And I think part of what we all liked was not just his 25 years of ministry, but an emphasis along the way on building community and on facilitating outreach. And the way that he's a strong pulpit pastor, from what I understand, but he really has brought his church together through his building of community, which is part of our new mission statement.
That's why it really connected, because the mission statement, which we are unveiling this Sunday, is we're building a community of forgiveness, purpose, and hope in Jesus Christ. And so community building is what we need, what we're about. Don has been a senior pastor for a good stretch, and before that he was an associate pastor in a church doing this kind of thing, but certainly with that kind of experience, and he was actually senior pastor at the same church for about 20 years, and so this is somebody who really has a great deal of good, solid pastoral experience.
Yeah, I agree. In our studying of his CV, but then when each of us called references and talked to them, but especially the time we had about 45 minutes or so on the phone with him, and I felt like I really connected with him. And it all started with his undergrad work as golf course management.
Yeah, that never hurts in Florida, does it?
Yes. But so I connected right there. But just his spirit, as we talked with him, his goals, his purposes, I thought were totally in line with where we hope to go.
That's great. Well, he'll be the main evening speaker, and he'll be speaking on building community, which is what we're interested in, and I think it dovetails wonderfully with the mission statement that we're unveiling. So we're looking forward to, I think, a very encouraging and exciting weekend at the Village Church.
I'm excited about it.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for joining us, and we hope that you'll join us at 10:15 on Sunday morning, where I will be speaking on the mission, and then at 6:15 on Sunday evening, where we have our friend and colleague Don Pullen speaking on community building, and we'll look forward to seeing you as much as we can.
And now, let's take a look back at the top stories from this week. On Monday, Robyn Church, manager of the Salon Spa, made us aware of what the Shell Point Salon and Spa can do as your hairstyle headquarters. From the popular pixie cut to the wavy bob and the different variations of them, Robyn is happy to help you with that great new look.
Hi, my name is Robyn, and I'm the salon manager here at Shell Point. And I just wanted to share with you some of the top short hairstyles for 2016. Of course, our pixie cut is forever classic, and that can be a clean cut over the ear, or you can go halfway on the ear, or even some wisp coming forward. You can do no bang, or you can do a bang or a half bang, like kind of a sweepy bang, kind of like this. You can do it kind of flat, or you can get some volume with some back combing here in the crown, which changes the whole shape. Then we have kind of a wavy bob has become really popular, and to achieve that, usually a loose perm works really well, and it's just a soft wave in kind of a classic bob cut with a little bit of layers. Then we have an asymmetrical, and that can be as extreme as you want it to be. One side would be shorter and one side would be down longer. Kind of the classic you see in asymmetrical is to do up over the ear on one side, and then it would come right about down here at the chin level on the other side, usually with no bang. Then the final is our forever classic as well, bob, which is just a smooth, sleek, one length bob turning underneath. That is forever classic, and we see that every year. So I hope you found that informative, and we look forward to seeing you in the salon. Maybe you'd like to discuss a change. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Did you know there's a computer center at the Island Creativity Tunnel, as well as computers over at the Woodlands? It's a great place where you can use a computer as well as get some advice and help from resident volunteers who are fast with the keystrokes. Meg Singer visited with Terry Kolath this week to talk about the computer centers and to invite other microchip-savvy residents to volunteer there.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath. I'm here today with Meg Singer of Teledora, who in addition to other things is the leadership of the Island Computer Center. Thank you for joining me, Megs.
Oh, you're welcome, Terry. It's so fun to be here and talk about one of my passions.
It is one of your passions, and we're really, really glad. Have you always been passionate about computers and computer usage?
Well, I've always been comfortable with it. You know, I got the first computer back in the 80s, and, you know, Dave and I were in publishing, and I got publishers to start using computers when they weren't, you know. So I was always trying to be at the front end. Right now, I'm only an iOS user. I only have an Apple iPad and an Apple iPhone, and I get along with that. But I also know how to use Windows.
And more importantly, you know the value of helping people.
I know it,
with computers.
Terry. It's so great to help, especially people that have just moved here. And there's a lot of new people that have moved here. And we have a lot of volunteers that are young, and I'm sure people my age and younger that have used computers all their life. And so it's a great way to help others when you have that knowledge.
And you manage the Resident Computer Center on the island in the tunnel. And it is, for those who don't know, as you're walking through the tunnel, there's a door in the middle, and you can go in the pottery studio, the technology and teaching center, the photo studio, the stamp room, or your Island Computer Center.
That's right, the Island Computer Center, which is around the corner on the way to the photo studio.
And I think in this interview, my main goal is to share the real benefit that is to residents who live here. Because as you've said many times, your computer might break, or you may want to try...
Or your printer breaks.
Or your printer. Or you may
happens a
want
lot.
to get to your email and you don't want to have a printer or a computer at home. There are any number of reasons why you might want to walk in there. So you kind of have generalists as volunteers, people who can help get you into what you want to do.
That's right, that's right. And some people just like to come in and play solitaire
Sure.
to pass the time or to get away from their spouse or...
Or to just take a break and enjoy some technology, right?
Yes.
With some nice, like-minded people.
Yes, yes. It's a friendly place. When you come in there, you're offered help, but we don't push it on you. But all my volunteers, I have about 12 volunteers, and they're all ready to help whoever comes in at whatever level they need help.
That is so amazing because it's so challenging. We come to technology from so many different
Yes.
abilities, and you and I know that technology is changing right while we sit here.
I know, and that's one of the great things about being a volunteer there, because you kind of can't help but keep abreast of the latest changes.
Right, right. So we want to make known that the last page of the weekly reminder lists the hours for the Woodlands Computer Center and the Island Computer Center, and we have a lot of open hours, so we are constantly searching out new volunteers who fit in, like the wonderful ones you already have.
Yes, but I need more because, well, you know, some of our volunteers are having health issues and will soon not be able to help us anymore.
Sure, and that's
So
what
I
happens in a
really
retirement community. We keep moving along.
Exactly.
Well, what are you looking for in a volunteer, Megs?
I'm looking for someone who's comfortable using a computer, preferably the Windows environment. If you don't have any experience with Windows, you probably wouldn't be comfortable helping, but most people have. Or perhaps they have experience in multiple platforms, but at least you're comfortable using a computer, you understand what a file is, you understand basically how email works, and even though you're not an expert in every different email.
And don't have to be.
Right, and I'm looking for people that are willing to give just 2 hours a week.
Fabulous.
It's not a lot of time.
No, and the value about that same 2 hours, like Tuesday morning or Wednesday afternoon, is that people come in and know you. They know, well, I think I'll go Tuesday. She was so helpful last time.
They do.
Or, sure.
They do that.
Now, you and I both appreciate so much the role of a volunteer. What are the benefits of volunteering?
Oh, man. Volunteering is the best thing you can do because it really helps you. When you help someone else, you can't help but get a benefit.
That's right.
So I guess I would stress the 5 things that you get out of being a resident computer volunteer are, number 1, you help people stay in touch with their family and friends. You get satisfaction out of helping somebody else. Number 3, you can even work on your own project there if you want because you aren't being used constantly. And sometimes nobody really needs help on a particular day. So I always bring my flash drive with me so that I can work on a project from home.
Nice.
Maybe, different things. Then you get to keep up with the latest technology. We have a Windows 8 and soon to be a Windows 10 computer in there, as well as most of them are Windows 7. And lastly, you get to take computer college classes at no charge.
Oh, it's an advantage too.
It is.
Every one of them are an advantage. And it seems to me that I would think the number 1 best advantage to volunteering in your Island Computer Center would be just the quality of life you bring to people. That like you said, the connection.
It is.
Learning and knowing, doing research, going into the computer center and, I want to know what kind of flower to put on my porch. You can just look up anything. I want to see the house I grew up in. What does it look like now?
Oh, I know.
Anything, the world. Your
those
volunteers
things.
Bring the world to people, don't they?
They do. It's a great thing.
Well, we're so glad. Thank you so much for talking with me today. And for you, if we've piqued your interest and you'd like to either visit the Island Computer Center to find out anything you want to know about your own personal technology, to use the equipment there, or if we've interested you in sharing your love of computers and technology as a volunteer. If you are, you can call Meg Singer at Teledora in your resident directory, or you can call me and I'll put you in touch with her. And once again, I want to thank each of the volunteers who commit to a time schedule in the Island Computer Center. Don't you, Meg?
Yes, and we also have substitutes. So if you want to try out, you can be a substitute at first.
Good point. So join us. Thanks so much.
Remember when the only way to put money into your bank account was to get into your car and make a long trip down to your local bank and wait in a really long line at the teller window just to hand them your check? And that was after you had stopped at the counter on the way in to pick up a deposit slip and fill that out. Well, that is still actually the most popular banking practice even today. Thanks to the latest conveniences, though, you don't even need to leave your home. But is mobile check depositing right for you? Anna Smith of FindMark Bank told us more about it in this week's FindMark Minute.
Hello, I'm Anna Smith, Managing Executive at FindMark National Bank and Trust on the island. In today's FindMark Minute, we are discussing mobile check deposits. If you bank with FindMark, you may have noticed this option on your mobile banking app. This feature allows you to scan checks from your mobile device and deposit them into your personal checking accounts electronically. The service is free of charge and is available for iPhone and Android devices. In order for this service to work, you must be signed up for FindMark Bank online banking, have an iPhone or Android device, and have the FindMark mobile banking app downloaded. The app and all its features are very secure and safe to use. Just remember to keep your username and password in a secure location. If you decide to try mobile check depositing, it's important to note the following. Checks won't automatically post to your account. Checks could take several days to be processed. You will be notified via email twice. First, once the deposit has been submitted, and second, with an approval or rejection of your deposit. You should keep any deposited checks for 30 days before shredding them. Mobile check deposit is for checks only. Other types of deposits are not accepted. If you have any questions about how this feature works, visit our office on the island or give us a call at 461-5999. With today's FindMark Minute, I'm Anna Smith.
Like we told you earlier, another fine and performing arts concert is just days away as the Duke Ellington Orchestra takes the stage at the Village Church. To learn more about the concert and the rest of this year's series, Dawn Bourne gave us the Music in Motion concert series lineup.
It's that time of year when our thoughts turn to the exciting concert season, and we look forward to world-class artists bringing a unique variety of entertainment to the concert hall in our own backyard. Hi, I'm Dawn Bourne, Director of Resident Life here at Shell Point. We have a unique lineup of musical and dance performers coming to our community, from instrumentalists to vocals, to soloists, to extravagant orchestras. It's a great privilege to have the Symphony Orchestra with 63 professional musicians and the new musical director, Nir Cabarati. The Southwest Florida Symphony Orchestra is ready to bring the best in classical music to Shell Point. On Thursday, February 4th, Maestro Nir Cabarati is back to lead the Southwest Florida Symphony in a symphonic folklore to include Mendelssohn, De Falla, and Copland. Look for more information and the order form in your concert series brochure or online at shellpoint.net/concerts. It's my privilege to announce the lineup for our Fine and Performing Arts series. The Duke Ellington Orchestra has been performing worldwide under the guidance of the Ellington family. Ellington's music changed the world and helped to break down the color barrier in American society through his music. Duke Ellington is regarded as one of the most prolific American composers of the 20th century. His career spans more than 50 years and included leading his orchestra, composing an exhaustible songbook, scoring movies, and composing stage musicals. Join me as we celebrate the music of the Duke Ellington Orchestra. Join us for the Hollywood Concert Orchestra, which specializes in the music that made the movies. The orchestra specializes in musical arrangements of both current and classical themes you may recognize dating back to the 1930s, or to more recent movies, such as Superman Overture, Mission Impossible, or Titanic, just to name a few. During the last decade, the Hollywood Orchestra has toured extensively throughout the United States and abroad, and we look forward to their performance here at Shell Point on Tuesday, February 9th. Our next artists are hailed as one of the premier ensembles of our time by the International Trumpet Guild Journal, as we welcome the Chicago Brass Quintet. Through the years, the quintet has rose to national prominence with the release of its first recording for Capitol Records, and has performed throughout the United States, Canada, South America, and Asia. Other highlights include performances at the Kennedy Center, Eisenhower Hall at West Point Academy, and Chautauqua Institute, to name a few. They also have been broadcast on National Public Radio and the Canadian Broadcasting Company. Don't miss this premier ensemble, the Chicago Brass Quintet, on Monday, March 7th. Our final concert in our Fine and Performing Arts concert series is entitled Something Wonderful, the music of Rodgers and Hammerstein, presented by two talented Broadway Pop's international vocalists, Sarah Pfister and Sean McLaughlin. This lively Rodgers and Hammerstein tribute will feature all our favorites from Oklahoma, The Sound of Music, South Pacific, Carousel, and The King and I, so be sure to join us on Tuesday, April 5th. There's something for everyone in the Shell Point Fine and Performing Arts concert series, and many of you look forward to world-class classical musicians as we bring a unique variety of entertainment to the intimate setting of the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. Each concert begins at 7:00 p.m., followed with a meet and greet reception with our artists. Join us as we welcome the Iria Brothers duo. Pianist Joseph and violinist John each began their musical education at age 5. Their talents and gifts for music were apparent from the beginning as each advanced in their own chosen instrument. They both attended Eastman School of Music and pursued graduate studies at the Peabody Conservatory. They both currently serve on faculty at Eastman's Community Musical School. Don't miss this talented brother duo on Monday, February 22nd. In March, the De Ponte String Quartet will perform on Monday, March 14th. The quartet has gained national attention and for the past 23 years have performed across the North America and also across Europe. In 2014, they were voted as the best musical groups in Maine by many readers of the Down East magazine and performed 70-plus concerts there annually besides their tour throughout the United States. That's this year's lineup of the Concert and Conversation series. We are also proud to announce that we will welcome back the Barbary Coast Dixieland Band as they return to Shell Point for their farewell concert on Tuesday, March 1st, with a special ticket price of only $15. I'm Dawn Boren, and we'll see you at the concert hall.
Artist writer Sandy Ehlers and psychologist Rosemary Giovannoni are concerned about your personal peace. In fact, they have developed an academy class that explores ways to increase personal peace through silencing the inner voices of regret and negative self-talk that we can sometimes experience. Terry Kolath gave us a preview of this very interesting and helpful class.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath, and I'm here today with Sandy Ehlers of Eagles Preserve. We're talking about a course she is co-doing for us with Rosemary Giovannoni of Parkwood. And the class is called Personal Peace. Thank you for joining me, Sandy.
Oh, it's always fun to join you, Terry.
Well, you have done some seminars for us in the past about art and about other things. And this time, your topic is personal peace. And you have invited Rosemary to be a co-presenter with you. Why don't you start out by telling us what this course is all about, personal peace?
Well, I asked my husband. My husband has often given me ideas for lectures, because sometimes you are asked to lecture and you're not given a subject. They just say whatever you want to talk about. So over the years, I always say, Tom, if you could hear a lecture today, what would it be on? And this particular day, I said that to him. He said, I think people need to hear about personal peace. He said the world seems very, very crazy at this point, and we absorb that energy that's coming at us. And he said, I think personal peace would be a good subject. Well, then that made me think about Rosemary. Because Rosemary has a wonderful record. She has her PhD from Northwestern in Evanston, but in the Chicago area. And then she went on, she had a private practice for marriage and for family. She was also head of the interns at Northwestern. She was president of Oasis, which was a wonderful group in the 80s where sociologists and psychologists worked together with the people that were on the cutting edge, some of the real new ideas. And now they're just not new ideas anymore.
They're in practice.
They're in practice.
Right.
But she calm and peaceful and really can walk her talk. We're in a book club together, and I'd gotten to know her. And so I said, would you like to help me with personal peace? And she said, I'd love to. So we've had a good time.
And we're going to have a good time when we come to this seminar. Now, it does occur to me that the challenge is first for some finding that place of personal peace, and for others maintaining it, no matter what's swirling around us. And a lot is swirling, isn't it?
Well, and I think when we get to be in our age group, maintenance is extremely important.
Sure.
Because we're facing into all kinds of things that come at you when you get to a certain age. I mean, you've maybe lost a child, you know, or your friends aren't well, or your best friend has died, or your spouse has died, or, you know, there are many, many things as you reach your 70s and 80s and 90s that can disturb your personal peace.
Sure.
So maintenance becomes a very, very important aspect of it. We're doing this in a unique way, and it gelled perfectly. We both just went off on our own and wrote how we felt about it, and then came together, and it was wonderful how it went together. But she's more like her approach, and it's very, very good. It's more like if you went into a psychologist's office and said, I want to talk to you about, and then she would just give you a general principled way of handling stress or anxiety or lack of courage or whatever it was you wanted to discuss. I talk more first person. The second part that I do is the story of Terry Waite, who was the gentleman that was held hostage in Lebanon for 5 years and chained to a prison cell, and how he established peace during that time. So they work well together.
So each of you will be giving a bit of a lecture. Is there any interaction, any participatory
There
aspect?
is. I think we're each talking about 28 minutes or so like that. And then we're going to have probably 35 minutes left, and we'll give a topic to the tables.
Nice.
So everybody can sit at the table and discuss how they feel about personal peace, and then we'll give them a specific thought that they can talk about if they want to. But then that gives everybody a chance to express their feelings and to have more of a personal.
And to learn from each other.
Yes.
Get tips. What a wonderful thing, Sandy. Well, we are very, very grateful that both you and Rosemary have taken this topic and wrapped yourselves around it and put yourselves into it, and now we're going to be the beneficiaries of your work.
Thank you.
I hope you will take time to spend the afternoon with us on Monday, February 1st, as we look at personal peace.
Shell Point has a new Pavilion Healthcare Chaplain and Director of Spiritual Services. Sunny Torres now heads the team of chaplains, and its Chief Operating Officer Scott Moore was happy to introduce her to you this week.
Hello, my name is Scott Moore. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Shell Point, and I have the sheer privilege and honor of having the pavilion, the Larson Pavilion, under my responsibility. And you know, at the Larson Pavilion, we want to take care of your body, but we also want to take care of you spiritually. And we are honored to have Sunny Torres join us as the Director of Spiritual Services for Shell Point. So she's housed in the pavilion, and that's her primary responsibility, but she's also responsible for the other healthcare areas around the community. So we're going to get to know Sunny by asking her a handful of questions. And here we go. When did you take the position of Director of Spiritual Care at Shell Point?
Well, I took the position on January 1st, started off fresh this year, right after Dr. Sue Stranahan finally got to retire. She's the one who founded the whole position of healthcare chaplain and director of spiritual services. And so when she retired on January 1st, that's when I stepped into her office and took her position.
Well, we dearly love Sue, and I know we're going to love you. Why did you specifically choose Shell Point?
Well, my mom and dad moved here in 2004. I think right after Hurricane Charlie, they moved here, and we were living overseas, and we would come here and stay with them on our furlough. We were serving over in Austria, and so we would stay at Shell Point with mom and dad, and we thought this was the place that we would want to work. If we ever came back to the United States, Shell Point was the place. When we moved to Austria, we worked in an institute that was for giving people that were pastors and teachers that had been underground during the communist regime. From 37 countries, these men and women would come and earn their master's degree. And so my husband and I worked on staff there at TCM. We had our major group of volunteers were from the senior citizen group. The more we worked with people from that generation, we fell in love with what's the golden generation, is that right?
Absolutely.
Because they had an incredible work ethic. We had 12-hour days, and they just didn't quit. They were determined to do their work with excellence. And so my husband and I just got to love being around people and our workers were 60 to 80-year-olds, most of them.
Wow.
That was a great thing. And then after that, when we came back, my father passed away in 2012. We moved back to Florida to be a support to my mom. And of course, we wanted to be here at Shell Point. And so we applied here. And the only position open was activities in the pavilion. Right. So when I did, I just loved the residents here. I worked with first, second, third floor, fourth floor, and I came to feel like I was at home with a bunch of brand new grandmas and grandpas. And so I loved the pavilion. And then after that, I became aware of Sue's retirement, and she mentioned it to me. I had to finish my master's degree, and so that, of course, helped me a lot with pastoral counseling as my major focus, and I learned to become a better listener. That was very important because as a chaplain, I think that's one of the most important things you can do. And then when I was, I had to take a clinical pastoral education course in Naples the past summer, and I was always around sick people, and I loved it. I just wanted to be in the hospital rooms, and I found I had the ability to cheer people's spirits up and, lift them out of their conditioned by just cheering them up and talking, and so that was a skill that I think I discovered, and it just made me fit for chaplaincy even more. So I think my favorite thing to do is make people cheer up.
Well, what kind of opportunities do you think that this position opens for you in the community, the broader Shell Point community?
I think one of the things is the involvement with LifeQuest. I really enjoy the fact that opens up some opportunities for me to speak on the spiritual dimension. I got to dedicate the butterfly garden a couple of weeks ago, and I thought that was wonderful. I was invited to do that. And also I oversee the chaplains that are in all the different facilities here, all the healthcare facilities. The assisted living has a chaplain in each one of them, and so we get together, and I have a great team of assistant chaplains, and so I kind of feel like we're spread out over the whole campus, available to the residents, and of course, I'm over at the pavilion, and I'm always available to anybody who wants to come visit.
So what is the greatest contribution that chaplaincy can provide the Shell Point residents?
I think this season, right now, for people that are in the builders or the golden generation, I think they are facing a season that's really, really difficult. I think where it says there's a time in this season, I think time kind of eats away the things that people have that have made life worth living, and it's a very difficult season. And so what we're hoping to do, even though time is taking away many things and there are a lot of losses for people, it's also a really good time to build up the spiritual side of your life. And so what as chaplains, I think the thing that we can do is help to strengthen things that are able to counteract the loss. And so things like we're able to help people reflect on their past and be able to extract meaning and purpose in their past and in their present. Help them to cope with things that they're going through, those losses or those challenges, and also giving them hope and being able to help them with relationships and to build relationships and mend relationships that are important, have meaningful ones here in the community, and also to help strengthen their faith. If that's a part of people's lives, we are here to do that as well. And so we're just here for the residents because we want to be available for helping build them up spiritually.
We are so happy to have Sunny here. And we're so happy to have her in the pavilion, but also touching those outside the pavilion. And if you get a chance to meet Sunny or see Sunny or one of her assistant chaplains in one of the healthcare facilities, stop and say hello and just enjoy being in their presence. They're such a wonderful group of people. And thank you for joining us today, Sunny, here. And thank you for joining us on Shell Point TV. Have a great day.
And that's going to bring the weekend edition of Shell Point Today to a close for January 29th, 30th, and 31st. I'm Adam Brown, thanking you so much for spending time with us today, and on behalf of the entire Shell Point TV staff, we hope you continue to have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday.